All right, complement is another one that I think is confusing for students, so I want to go over that one again as well. So complement, remember, is a part of the innate immune system. Okay, so it's another tool that it uses in order to clear pathogens. Okay, so that's what complement is. Complement is a set of plasma proteins, meaning they're always in the blood, ready to be initiated or activated, however you want to call it. So complement itself is a system, a set of plasma proteins, part of the immune system. So a set of plasma proteins that is part of the immune system, the innate immune system, that enhances or complements, enhances the ability of antibodies and phagocytic cells to clear microbes and damaged cells. Okay, it also promotes inflammation and attacks the pathogen's plasma membrane. Okay, they're plasma proteins. They're in the blood all the time. Okay. All right. In complement, it's a it's a group of these plasma proteins that um, are activated to go through a sort of cascade of reactions in order to have the effect, to create the effect. So there are three pathways that can start complement. Okay, the classical pathway starts with an antibody. Okay, so if we have a little microbe here, and the microbe has these little antigen there, and it will bind with an antibody. Okay, with that antibody, not only are sites for the antigen, but there's also a little site on it for the first complement protein. Okay, so that is the complement binding site. on the antibody. So what binds there? Well, what binds there is the C1 protein. Just it's one of the complement proteins. So it's C1 and it binds to the antibody and it goes through whatever it goes through and it ends up at the C3 protein. Okay. The second pathway is the lectin pathway. And basically, the same type of thing sort of occurs, but instead of utilizing through an antibody, then the C1 protein will bind to the glycocalyx of the pathogen. So like a sugar, okay? So again, it comes down here and goes to the C3. And then the third pathway is the alternate or alternative pathway. And this is where the C3 protein basically is hydrolyzed, goes through hydrolysis spontaneously with the microorganism. So the microorganism reacts directly through hydrolysis of the C3 protein to get here. Now, it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to ask you specifically those questions there. You need to know the classical pathway starts through an antibody. It is antibody mediated. These two are not. You should know that. Okay. This one utilizes the glycocalyx. This one is just direct. That's about all you need to know there. Once we get to the C3 pathway or the C3 part, it will break up into C3A and C3B. And C3A basically causes enhancement of inflammation. Okay, the C3 part, opsonization. So it's helping non-specific phagocytosis. Okay, and then from the C3b, then we can get the C5 protein, and it will attach with the C6, the C7, the C8, the C9, and it will create the membrane attack complex. Which is just those proteins that come together to make a little something that forces itself to stick into the plasma membrane of the pathogen, and then it kills it. It like makes all the fluid come out of it and all of that. And that's how it kills it directly. So that is complement. Complement is just a set of plasma proteins. Okay. So try to go through that. Try to, as I said, don't get hung up on the pathways. Just understand that this cascade of reactions can start in 3 different ways. Okay, this is the main one that it happens is through an antibody.